And we're live.
Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of Capes and Commentaries. I'm Tyler Baker, and with me, as always, is my I was going to try, like we're like the buddy cop system on this podcast here. That's what we are. You're like we're my buddy cop partner. Yeah, my partner. Yeah, is I don't like to say partner in crime. It's like that's Joe Motto's thing. It's like so we're like buddy cops here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Crockett. You're Tubbs. We got it.
I like both Crockett and Tubbs. So when people want to sit there and say that as if like it's a slam towards Tubbs, Tubbs is badass, dude. I mean, one of my
I know.
favorite
I
episodes of
was
Miami
hoping that
Vice.
it would just maybe pull something. You'd be
No,
like,
no, not with
no,
that.
no.
No, no. I
I'm
tell you what.
Crockett.
I tell you what we are. We're Tango and Cash.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. You're Gabriel Cash and I'm Ray Tango.
Okay.
Yeah, that worked. I say that. Yeah, that's.
Well, what was the quote in that movie? It's like there's a
Oh, you
pup.
don't know shit. You like making fun of me.
Well, I'm thinking of the thing where they're interrogating the guy, and there's a puddle at his feet, but it's not raining or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
it's been a while since I watched it
He
too.
pissed himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
God,
that's a good movie.
and a heavily underrated movie too. And it's like one of those films that when people think Stallone and Kurt Russell, I'm like, how does a clash like that always get ignored? But when people bring it up, they have positive things to say
Yeah.
about it. But it's just one of those. Oh, all I know is Rocky and that one movie where he has like the bandana with the bullets and stuff. Where he's in the jungle. Oh yeah, Rambo.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Rambo,
Yeah, speaking of Rambo,
that's kind
which
of funny. We didn't even really mean to do that, but that was a good way to tie everything in.
yeah, that was all improv.
Yeah.
I appreciate the wit
Uh,
that this Tango and Cash
yeah.
that we share. We really should get like a buddy cop film franchise.
There we
Imagine me and
go.
Nathan on a movie poster together.
No.
Yeah,
God.
it'd be awesome.
No. One thing real quick, I had Amazon credit, $10 worth, so I went ahead and ordered that oh, excuse me, that Shout Factory Cobra release.
Oh, badass.
Yeah, because I was reading the reviews. Some people were kind of worried about the picture quality compared to the previous Blu-ray release, but it's kind of your preference. There's a lot of white tones, like the coloring in it on the old Warner disc, and this one's kind of got more of a red tint to it. And with that and the interviews that are on there, I'm like, it's no brainer. So
How much was it?
right now on Amazon, it's like $23. So I got it for like 14
Is
after tax.
this? I've noticed too. Like Amazon's like offering like like cheap 2 day shipping or free 2 day shipping and like cheaper 1 day shipping. So is this just for the month of January or something?
Are they not trying to shoehorn like some sort of like credit card thing or anything like that?
No,
Or I
no, because when I
honestly,
bought
I
Spawn,
don't know. I've been a Prime member for so long.
okay,
I don't even glance at it.
I was just curious because my mom was buying stuff on there recently, and when I bought the Spawn collection, and it was like 2 day shipping was like $3, and I was going to have it on Monday.
Yeah.
Or no, it was free if I got it Monday, but if I went by Saturday, I could pay just a few dollars more and got it on Saturday. But I just thought, man, this there must be. I don't know if this is like a intro to 2019, cheaper shipping. I don't
I
know.
wouldn't doubt it. And they're probably trying to say, hey, now that you've done an order, you can see how fast you can get this shit. Pay this money. You can get Prime Video and the free shipping. I don't
Yeah,
know. I got shit. I've had Prime for so long. I just don't
I was
even.
just curious about that because I want that version of Cobra. I want Fatal Beauty on Blu-ray. There's a couple of other things I like to have, off Amazon right now, um, but I just dropped it, and everyone's questioning. We will be doing the HBO Spawn series next week,
Yep.
just so you know. So we have not. I watched it since it was on HBO, and I didn't get to watch that much of it. And I don't know if Nathan saw much of it, but that's something to let you know in
No.
advance.
Yeah, I've the only Spawn related thing that I've watched is unfortunately the
The
movie.
movie.
Yeah, which even then, like you can still have a good time with it.
At least with that, like the story and the visual look, everything was got right. It's just the god awful acting and the bad dialogue.
Yeah,
That's what ruined Spawn. Like Michael J. White was a great Spawn. John Leguizamo was a good clown. Martin Sheen could have been a great Jason Wynn. They just gave him the worst dialogue to work with. Just like he's a Snidely Whiplash kind of villain, as opposed to like the evil corporate businessman out of the comic books. And Malbolge's mouth doesn't move when he talks. He talks like it's Frank Welker doing the Dr. Claw voice. Like no, we can get into that next week. But we're here to revisit the kick-ass Rambo series that just seems to still be parodied on YouTube by assholes anonymous and stuff like that.
Hey, yeah, assholes anonymous. That was my that Yahoo username when I was harassing people on their Yahoo profiles.
That's right, it was.
Yeah,
I just said that
being a huge dick.
Yeah,
like
Nathan was classic heel. Nathan I think is always like he needs to be like, if they're going to bring heels back in professional wrestling, Nathan needs to be that Bobby Heenan, that chicken shit heel who cut a great promo. He can get anybody over, but just talking and dogging whoever it is that they're wrestling this weekend in Memphis, Tennessee, or something like that. And you just cut them down to size, man, and the guy behind doesn't have to say anything. Yeah. But that's what Nathan was back in the day.
I'm gonna kick your ass, all right.
Yeah. And Nathan finishes up like every promo with extreme, and just like drops the mic and leaves.
I talked a lot of shit, but I was ready for it. I felt like I wanted to be anyway. I was just like, okay, if it happens, I want it to happen. It never did.
So you've been treading lightly over the years, like you're just waiting for that impact. You're waiting for that for someone to either pick you up or just push you or throw a punch and then Nathan goes all Nightcrawler, like he just starts springing all over the place and doing backflips.
Probably. I don't know how I would react.
Yeah,
we'll see. It's coming. It's gonna happen one day. I thought it was funny how I posted that one status about people getting their last names tattooed on them, and Kevin Sharp commented and was just like, it's basically saying it's weird hearing him cuss like that, like being just sort of like to it, and I'm just like, yeah, I hold back a lot on the shows. People don't realize that. Like I do.
Well, I didn't catch. I saw the post, but I didn't catch what he said. What did he say?
He posted a GIF of Bruce Banner transforming into the Hulk from the cartoon.
From the 80s cartoon?
Yeah. Yeah. Me seeing Nathan cussing after him being a nice guy on the podcast and then had like the transformation GIF.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, yeah, I hold back. I hold back a lot. I do. People don't realize it. Like I can be quite the angry person.
Yeah, I'm really like my persona is kind of just for the show. Nathan's the more hostile one.
Yeah, which is funny.
Yeah,
like people think that Tyler's the grumpy guy all the time. Yeah. It's like no, over here.
I get grumpy about my entertainment pop culture, but Nathan's angry about everything else.
Yeah, I get angry about people.
Yeah,
and having to deal with people on a daily basis that are just either lazy, don't think things through, or they just don't care, and they're making everything worse for everybody else.
Because Nathan earlier this week, I know he was venting about work, where he posted Kurt Russell from the thing saying, nobody trusts anybody anymore. I'm sure that had something to do with work, and then I immediately thought of like,
work, shit, probably the country in general. Really.
Well, I figured it's like something must have happened there. However, it made me think that you could take a certain scene from the thing and apply it to 6 days of the week for Nathan when he goes to work. Like Monday is Kurt Russell dumping, his Jack Daniels on the computer and saying, cheating bitch, and gets up and leaves. When he's asked to work overtime, that's Thursday with Keith Davis saying, what? Shit.
Yeah.
And then Saturday is Gary tied to the chair. I'd really like to not spend the rest of my life sitting on tied to this fucking couch. That's Nathan get ready to snap. Friday is Wilford Brimley, I'll kill you, and shooting everybody. Sunday is him sitting like frostbite. If any of us has a surprise, I don't think we're in any shape to do anything about it. Just.
I love that film.
I do too.
That's like one.
I smell a Beyond retro commentary coming up for that.
Yeah,
dude.
I could see that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit. All right. Yeah. Rambo.
Yeah.
cartoon, but before like you were getting ready to go into your whole spiel of people making fun of it on the internet and everything, I don't seek that shit out
I
because
don't seek it out either. It's like when I like to, I revisit the the intros and episodes if I just want to get a quick fix of something and just watch this and I see, people, shitting all over it and
in the comments.
no, making videos like
Oh,
say
okay.
the Rambo cartoon is ridiculous or like, the
Well,
Retro Blaster
it's
group like
supposed
shits
to
on
be.
it. And,
I'm sorry, but it's an action adventure cartoon. It's supposed to be over the top.
yeah,
Like, I
you
don't.
guys, it's supposed to be like smart, sophisticated, and witty for intellectual assholes out there or something
I
like that.
don't. Yeah, I don't understand.
It's Rambo for God's sake.
Yeah.
And people just think they've got such an edge and like they're so intellectually inferior because I made fun of this cartoon from 1986. Blah, 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 and I'm so smart and witty. Got the brain of an ice cube. Jerk off.
I love how angry you get about all this stuff.
This is the stuff that makes me angry. Everything else, like I could care less. It does if it doesn't affect my well-being and my daily routine, I don't care and I don't think twice about it. So. But yes, I love this cartoon a lot, and I picked this one. It's a simple episode, but it features my two favorite villains, Sergeant Havoc and Gripper. It's another action adventure episode in the jungle with snakes and alligators.
I'm
in the
gonna
jungle.
say usually I prep and watch it beforehand. I didn't do that this time, so
No worries.
I'm going into this super fresh, just like any of our listeners out there. No link down below because I think there is a Daily Motion link, but
there is. It's got ads in it, but if
Yeah.
you want to watch it with us, or just go get the
yeah, just Google search Rambo Savage Island episode, and that should point you in the right direction. Or pick up the volumes; they're really cheap on Amazon.
Cheap on Amazon right now. If you have Amazon Prime, like Gabriel Cash here, get it for free shipping. But
Yeah.
we're here to just praise the hell out of this episode and get Nathan's viewpoints on it, all fresh.
All right.
So, 3, 2, 1, action. Dun. Yeah. This makes for great motivation when you're getting ready for the gym. Like this is what I'm thinking about when I'm prepping for the gym. I'm tying my shoes. I'm putting my music in my.
You're putting a knife in your pants.
Yeah. Tying a headband, and then fire explodes behind me. And I watching Mad Dog Ripper and Sergeant Havoc jump out of that. It just keeps me excited every time I see that because I didn't get to see much of this as a kid. I saw very, very little of it, and I was always more intrigued by the villains a lot, aside from seeing Rambo in action, of course. But it's and thinking about this too, it kind of made me think that I think the Terminator could have used a cartoon. How much on Alien was going to get a cartoon?
I'm surprised that those didn't get cartoons.
Yeah, with the Kenner toy line, like I could see Arnold, John Connor, and Sarah Connor on the run all the time from the T-1000.
At the same time, like what would be the legs on a Terminator?
It would be short-lived, granted, of course. But I'm surprised it wasn't attempted. The Aliens cartoon was attempted, but was never released. But I could see it much like this and the unreleased Alien cartoon, like a Terminator 2 cartoon based on Skynet, the T-1000, coming up with new villains for Arnold as the Terminator to fight, and John Connor and Sarah Connor trying to stop Skynet all the time. And Savage is on the run here. This is, comes off very much like a G.I. Joe episode right now. Like the vehicles, here's Gripper.
Yeah, Gripper's got a badass look to him. I'll say.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He does. It's unique enough that it sets him apart.
Yeah, I always felt like back in the 80s, like eye patches and a claw hand or a hook hand was such a kick-ass. And he's a German mercenary. I mean, this has got 80s action movie written all over it. And it's a shame we didn't get something like this. I know the Rambo films were geared more towards things that were going on in, current situations of the 80s. The whole POW questions and the Russians in Afghanistan and stuff like that in Rambo 3. But, all these characters felt like you could easily seen them in a Rambo film. Gripper, Sergeant Havoc, Warhawk, Nomad, Mad Dog, Snakebite. They all come off guys that would be easily translatable to the screen to take on Stallone. And Kat, of course, is I said before, I always felt that she was based off Cobal from Rambo 2, but it's just I can't. I'm not saying that a lot of these cartoons you watch are going to change your life or some nonsense like that. I just feel like they're heavily underappreciated, have a lot of great elements that just are heavily overlooked. You know, like people really, I think a lot of times don't take the time to say, and I'm not said there's not people out there that don't appreciate it because I don't know everybody that does, but that's why we do this. We want people to, you know, realize that this stuff is a lot better than people give it credit. And considering all the competition that was on in the 80s,
Right.
you know.
I like and just now how they stole that missile, and then he's like, "All right, well, fuck it, we're sinking the ship too. We
Yeah,
have to." Like
that's a bad guy. Classic bad guy. Doesn't care about casualties, just finish the job, like just for the hell of it. And a lot of times in this show you'll see kind of Rambo just kind of off on his own, you know, in the wilderness, kind of solo or doing something before he gets pulled into the mission here.
well, Rambo has always struck me as a guy that when he's not working, he just wants to sort of keep to himself and be by himself. He likes the solitude.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like even though he's got buddies in this show, like Turbo, Cat, T.D. Jackson, Chief, and Troutman, it's fun to see him just kind of he is a solo character, and I like that because it's pretty much how he is in the movies. It's one of those things I felt like it's just not acknowledged enough that they do a pretty good job of, and we're getting to see like a fun little action sequence, which I could clearly see in a Rambo film. Like they don't have time to deal with the paperwork here, but as we'll see later on, what just happened there was done for a reason. It's just not just for the sake of we need a quick action sequence here, but it works. And this kind of has like elements of like a Rambo 2 and Rambo 3. Or
I'm kind of curious how Rambo 5 is gonna turn out.
I am too. Like I kind of felt like I don't go back and watch Rambo, the fourth Rambo film, that much. I just feel like in comparison to the first three, it kind of lacks a lot of the presence of Rambo. It doesn't come off like an actual Rambo film. Like I like it, and I saw it 4 times in theaters because I was so excited to see Rambo in theaters for the first time. But I just kind of feel like I just don't revisit it like I do the first three. But I'm curious. Like I know, I don't know how much people are expecting out of a fifth Rambo film. I really wasn't warranting one, honestly. But
Yeah, I felt like they wrapped it up pretty good with
him coming home and
yeah,
back to Bowie, Arizona, and kind of leaving it at that. And but I mean, for the most part, Stallone, his movies, man, they don't have the impact they used to, but he doesn't make terrible films. He really doesn't.
I mean, he honestly hasn't, aside from Expendables and revisiting Rocky and playing Rocky in Creed and everything, he hasn't really done much else aside from that, really.
He's done Bullet to the Head, Grudge Match, and both of those were good films. But and I think a couple of other things here and there. But like he's got that one movie coming out where I forgot what it's called. Matthew Modine's in it, playing like it looked kind of interesting, kind of different for a Stallone film. I forgot. I don't even know if it's come out yet or not. Looked like kind of one of the films that's going to be kind of under the radar. But and I always associate Rambo with the jungle. I mean, I think ever since I was a kid, like I was more inclined to like when I think Rambo, I think of Rambo from Rambo Part 2. Even though I watched the first Rambo quite a bit as a child, I was all about Rambo 2 as a kid because of the jungle, the bow and arrow, the red bandana, just the kind of GI Joe muscle look, so to speak. That's kind of amped up a bit more in like what we're seeing right now. And some of you are like, oh, they're focusing on his muscles an awful lot. Isn't that lame? Like, no, idiot. It's like that's what they do in the movies too. Like if you want to see the muscle, the goods, the strength, it's not given to be material for you to sit back and
Yeah, like him in Rocky 4 and Rambo 2 just ripped to shreds.
I almost say Rambo 3 with the stick fight. Good God, man! He is just That's something I would love to discuss with you at some point too. Is here's another muscle shot, but I yeah, my it's Rocky 4, Rambo 2, and Rambo 3. I think probably are his best. And
Sounds like me when I'm like struggling with the shit, man. He's just like, yeah,
yeah.
Actually, I'm not a grunter when I take a dump.
He's a silent assassin when he's dropping lows, and
Yeah.
all you hear is plop.
Yeah. It's not like that guy at the mall movie theater.
It always makes me think it when Randall and Clerks was watching that porn. That's what it made me think of when we heard that guy taking a crap at the mall.
I don't understand why people feel the need to just be like, while they're taking a shit. Like, are you in that much pain?
Yeah. Like they're really trying to sell it. And here, Rambo versus alligators.
Well, I was gonna say I really like the art nosed alligators. Sorry, we're jumping from like grunting while you're taking a shit to hey, look at this.
Yeah, just kicks the hell out of an alligator. Like,
yeah,
I would have loved to see that in a Rambo film, and that seemed like something you would see. And I always like seeing Warhawk's compounds, especially his jungle compounds. And we're kind of getting.
I was kind of wondering if that was like a tape on the top of his head, because I saw like the stuff spinning around. I was like, what the hell is that?
Interesting contraption there to kind of record visually with a headset like that.
Yeah,
definitely ahead of its time.
Now we can just strap a cell phone to her head.
Pretty much, yeah. And I like this kind of rivalry that's kind of being established right here between Gripper and Havoc. That they, Havoc's a superior to Gripper, but Gripper clearly sees himself as, and you see the security guard there was deliberately stopping Rambo for a reason because he works for Warhawk. So that whole action thing, which you saw earlier, there was not just for, throwaway action. There's more to it than you people realize. You understand? This is
we're gonna get another muscle shot, aren't we?
A little bit. Yep.
No, well, I figured it would have zoomed in a little more.
A little bit more, but he's gonna take quite the tumble here because Rambo can take the impact of a jackass gimmick. Like, remember in that like when they're rolling down sand dunes and the jackass, and like those big barrels, and like
just thinking about that makes me want to throw up.
Yeah.
There we go. There's a muscle shot.
This is machismo. That is, yeah. We're gonna see, and I like this, getting to see Rambo feuding with the elements of the jungle. Just felt like a panther is going to be on this trail here soon. This is probably the weakest link. Is this officer that's working with Savage, voiced by Alan Oppenheimer, has like the weakest, unthreatening voice. Well,
he looked kind of wimpy when he's sitting there, kind of clearing out the.
And he's that same voice was used for the Wizard Draka and Tale of Two Cities and He-Man, which worked well for that character, but not for this character. And to see this would have been kind of difficult for Stallone to do.
They can do it now.
They could do it now, probably. They got Leonardo DiCaprio fighting with a grizzly bear. So to see Rambo feuding with a panther, alligators. And we'll see a snake show up later on in the episode. But look at that, putting his hand right up on a panther's mouth like that. I mean, of course, the cartoon, we can't have Rambo killing a panther. But in the movie, he probably would have pulled out the giant knife and just impaled him against the tree.
Did you watch The Revenant?
I have not. Only because I wasn't opposed to seeing it. It's just... I ended up buying it for my dad when he went into the hospital. When he got out, I bought it for him for him to have something to watch, and he's watched it many times.
It's a good movie. I think you would like it. The dialogue's very minimal, and it's just like hunting more. I don't know. It's cool.
I definitely would be interested in seeing it. Of course, I thought the trailers were pretty interesting when it first came out. And here's the giant snake sequence here. which I kind of think this is either like a giant python. I wouldn't say maybe an anaconda or a boa constrictor, python probably.
Just
That's what a
nonchalant
badass
rolls him
Turbo
into
is.
a
Just
ball and just fucking tosses him
yeah,
out.
that's Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers would be playing the role of Turbo. Carl Weathers could do that, voiced by Uncle Phil slash the Shredder. I cannot remember his real name. I always forget his name. Um,
Uh, Damn.
yeah,
It's funny because I used to
and
actually
I don't like
remember it.
Fresh Prince, so I'm not ashamed to admit that. But I love the Shredder. Yeah, Gripper.
James Avery.
That's it. Yeah, playing the voice of Turbo there. Yeah, we need a Gripper character. They need to bring back characters like this who have, you know, parts, like a missing a hand and have a weapon in place of it, or, eye patches and stuff. Those to me were like staples of true villains as a kid. You
I
know,
I've always thought I don't know if this has been done in any movies recently, but I think it would be cool to um it would kind of tread on political territory, but to have like a vet of like the when we went to Afghanistan and Iraq, let's say they lost an arm or a leg or something, and now like they're just really they turn into a villain more or less. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't done that and worked it in some way to some one of these kinds of movies.
oh well, I kind of feel like anything that references like Afghanistan now is gonna be like one of those, Michael Bay, hey, I got a hard on for Marines in action, so I'm gonna make a movie based on Marines in action, and no one's gonna give a shit. And things like that. So I would much rather it be somebody like Gripper here, who's not even associated with current um, issues going on right now, because that's why I kind of feel like I even though we're way past anybody who, if they were a hero or a villain associated with Vietnam, they'd be a lot older now, of course. But I just always find uh, people who were products of Vietnam or served in Nam, I just find that to be a little bit more interesting than like the current stuff, so to speak. Um,
That
in
makes
terms
sense.
of like entertainment.
Yeah.
But because we can't really use that because someone who served in Vietnam would be a hell of a lot older, and um, I think it would work for the Punisher, a much more older Punisher, because they can't seem to get it right on Netflix anymore.
Uh-oh.
But and here we are with Havoc and Gripper having like a dick measuring contest, so to speak. Here, like who can really, you know, who really should be in charge here. And I like this, and we see these two work together throughout the series as well too. But it makes sense that these um, and it's like how Rambo's just kind of sneaking around the compound here, picking up info. And I would be wearing my Sergeant Havoc tank top, but I couldn't find it in time for the recording. So,
Yeah, because you're kind of rushing around.
yeah. And I actually tried to look for it. I'm like, I can't have Nathan waiting any longer here. So I do want to get like the Rambo Force of Freedom logo on a white tank top, kind of how Rambo wears like the hoodie, like the sleeveless hoodie, and get that on a tank top. I'd probably hurt. I mean, to be gripped at all by that spiked, gripping
Oh yeah,
hand.
it would be like a bear trap, I would imagine.
Yeah, yeah. But pretty much trying to stop this Pandora missile from being launched. Here we go. It's like the He-Man transformation sequence here. We got Rambo re-gearing up for battle here. Even though yes, he's already wearing the stuff, but
I
you're
was gonna
missing.
say he's already like
It's filler, but it's like okay, he's gearing up for the big fight here, so you throw in that kind of, which doesn't really work for the situation, but I get the reason behind it. So, yeah,
I like
it's
that touch. Like you can't show that they've been completely buried
yeah,
by the dirt. You still have to have their heads sticking out.
yeah. It just follows the same logic behind the GI Joe cartoon. You can't. I think the Rambo cartoon goes further than what GI Joe was allowed. Like they use bullets and things like that. You see knives in action a lot more than you ever would in Rambo. I mean, a GI Joe. Um, so that's why I feel like there's certain things about this show that GI Joe couldn't do, which kind of gives it a lot more flavoring. Look at that. using live ammo to jumpstart an
I
explosion.
always like the little trails
Yeah.
that you would see in the cartoons.
Yeah, and there's
Always,
other characters. What's that?
I was gonna say like that always reminds me of like Wile E. Coyote.
Or like Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny,
Yeah,
because Bugs would pull that
yeah.
stunt a lot with Yosemite Sam cartoons. Which of the Rambo? I know you picked up a whole batch of Rambo figures a while back. You did get Havoc and Gripper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah, they're in there. I just they're sitting in a box upstairs. I still gotta get that shelf or that bookcase.
Now, who all did you get in that?
Oh
Because
god,
Nathan bought like a big collection off
yeah,
of
it had
eBay.
like three Rambos in it. Turbo. Uh,
Gripper, Havoc,
yep.
Mad
Uh,
Dog. Was Mad Dog in there?
uh,
He's got the mohawk.
I want to say yes, but I'm not entirely sure. The two ninjas.
White and Black Dragon. How
Yep.
about Nomad, like the Arab terrorist?
No.
He wasn't in there. Warhawk. You got Warhawk.
Yeah, Warhawk's in there.
Troutman.
Yep. I think there's actually two of him in
Two
there.
Troutmans.
Yeah. Because it was just, I'm like, all right, for the price, and there's
Yeah, you pay
enough
like what $90 for all of those and
yeah,
tons of
and
weapons and things.
yeah, it came with lots of all the a shitload of weapons, and also the Jeep,
Yes.
the truck,
Yeah.
however you wanna call it.
Yeah. I think it's called like the something 4x4 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I some vehicles like with GI Joe and stuff. I'm more about memorizing the characters than the vehicles a lot. Aside from He-Man, Thundercats, and some Turtles, I couldn't tell you a lot of the more military style vehicles. Rambo doing this and just kind of Mission Impossible feat
Yeah,
here.
yeah, riding on the missile.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Let you know he's going to take care of business here. Which, seeing it right now, we've seen Stallone do in Expendables also, like holding on to the side of an airplane. So don't act like this is completely like he would never do that.
I will say that line of that. Oh no.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. But yeah, like if you guys are coming into this, like you know what you're getting into. Like, come on, I don't understand the point of shitting on this.
I don't. And not
don't.
just the cartoons we do, but other cartoons are. It's people think that they're comedians and want to make fun of the stuff that we grew up on. I don't speak from this stuff from a nostalgia standpoint because I watch this stuff, and maybe it's just me and what me and Nathan have to say about this stuff, but I don't see the gags and the jokes. Like I look at it from what they were trying to do, what they were limited to, what they were allowed to do, the content of the show, the stories they're trying to tell. Like I think it warrants credit and doesn't really make sense to just, this is just so lame and silly and stuff. But then you're gonna, be all about like current stuff because they're allowed to get away with using language and things like that. And like, all right, so that means that everything that came before it was shit. I mean, how many cartoons use actual Jerry Goldsmith's score and bullet sounds? I always like that Ruby Spears outro like that. Yeah. But that is Savage Island, and yet Kuroko. I mean, that's another sign of like 80s/early 90s kick-ass films, man. Kuroko.
It's all gone. None of it exists anymore.
No, they tried it with C2 with Kuroko coming back, but doesn't really put out the films that it used to anymore. If they're still in existence, which I have not checked, so therefore I do not know. But that's Savage Island, dude. What? Given that I was talking during a lot of your first viewing of it, what's your initial?
It's it's straight to the point. Like that was a nice little story, just tied up, wrapped, bowed, real quick.
Doesn't have to be elaborate and kind of silly and off the wall and all over the place. It's showcasing machismo in an 80s cartoon, man. It's a shame we don't get to see that kind of action adventure personified in children's animation today too, because they don't have action heroes in cartoons anymore unless it's superheroes dumbed down so that we kids think that Superman and Spider-Man are just, stand-up comedians in cartoons now, as opposed to the American ass kickers that they've always been.
They just want to have a good time.
Yeah, and sing and dance, and
I thought you were gonna say shuck and jive.
Well, yeah, that too.
That's your go-to.
They shuck and jive. They got a hat, and they sit there and dance. And good times will be had by all. We don't fight anybody. We tell bad jokes. It's because I would be very curious. I will say this. This kind of ties into what we just watched. When my nephew was over here about 2 weeks ago, he saw my Rambo toys, and immediately was pulling out one at a time, and was looking at them. And he pulled out Sergeant Havoc, and Havoc's carrying a bazooka and a small pistol, and he just yelled out "cool," and it was pulling out Rambo and White Dragon and Gripper and Mad Dog, and looking and wanted me to put them in the Jeep and push the Jeep around for him to watch. He just was fixated on the Rambo toys. He just thought they were really like, I wonder if I could, because I got him fixated on watching Superman. So I show him the Christopher Reeve Superman. So that's what he wants to do when he sees me. He says, "Watch Superman." So I show him clips of Superman 4. He's 2 as of yesterday.
Oh.
Today was his official birthday. Yesterday was gathering with family and his buddies from daycare.
All right, right on.
Yeah, he was quite fixated on the Transformers that I have on display here.
Do you have to kind of just be like, all right, now be easy?
I let him. Starscream was the only one that I was like, okay, you can't play. Yeah. The Constructicons, he wasn't crazy about, but he did recognize I think Scrapper, and he just saw the backhoe and said Bulldozer, and he was in his robot form. Like, God, he's just he recognized the vehicles, and he gets it. Yeah, and he started playing with Soundwave and Megatron. So I got him the those ones they have at Walmart that just move their arms.
Yeah,
I got an Optimus and Starscream, and then I got him like those Titan Marvel and DC superheroes that are about like 12 inches high.
Yeah.
I ordered him Green Goblin and got him Superman.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's got Spider-Man and he's got Sandman. So he was quite fixated when he pulled out Superman and was flying him around like this and making noises and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this is wonderful. And then I was showing him like Superman and Nuclear Man fighting, and he goes, fight, because they're fighting in space and stuff. And that's what he wants to see. He doesn't want to see the talking. He wants to see Superman fighting. So I've showed him footage from Superman 2 fighting the Kryptonians, and I've shown him fighting Nuclear Man. And I've shown him walking through Gene Hackman's gauntlet of fire, machine guns, and being frozen from the first film too. And he was just quite fixated on it. So I'm working on him.
Yeah, in a couple years' time, you can show him Predator. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I've shown him parts of Star Wars. I've shown him parts of Karate Kid, and he wanted to keep kicking me after we watched the tournament in Karate Kid, which was quite awesome. So
yeah, I'm sure your brother really appreciated that.
Well, I mean, Derek's, he's, it's not like, because he hasn't really said anything about that, because he's Derek's interested in introducing him to these kinds of things too. Like he wants to show him Turtles, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, the superhero stuff as well. Like he even told me yesterday he wants to get him put in frames some Superman and Spider-Man comics to hang on display in his bedroom. I'm like, oh man, this is so cool, man. They're like, I'll help out with that too.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because with some of those older issues, you can get them for a couple bucks.
Yeah, like I figured I'd get him some stuff from the 90s, like some of the more like kind of throwaway issues, but just look really good, like for the cover art, and maybe get those for Derek, so we can hang them up and put them in Brian's room and stuff like that too. But now he's taken to some of this stuff too, so I'm like, oh, this is wonderful. Being the cool uncle, it's just there's no more greater sensation than that.
I'll never know really what that feels like.
Well, you might have to.
Don't even say.
No, not you guys. Just tell someone else to have a baby, and you can be like the god uncle or something like that. So you can just show up and.
All right, Tyler, better get on it.
Yeah. I beg your pardon. I don't think so.
All right. Well, with that said,
that is Savage Island, dude.
Yeah, so we got a little over half an hour until we do our commentary for John Wick. I think I'm gonna shower. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and I'll probably have to take care of a few other necessities too before we sit down to watch some major ass kicking. And we'll be back shortly. But next week, we'll be back with the first episode of the Spawn HBO series.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, for both of us. Since I watched a little bit of it on YouTube. I'm like, God, this looks great. The voice acting, Keith David playing the voice of Spawn, Money in the Bank.
Yep.
So, we'll talk more about that next week, and probably touch on the live action movie as well, a little bit as well. So I know I just said like twice, now 3 times in the same sentence.
It happens.
But hopefully you guys will be interested in sitting down for that, and maybe give our thoughts on the upcoming Jamie Foxx. Man, I'm sure we'll have like a rap song to throw in with the new Spawn movie. Because that's what I'm worried that he's gonna like. I'll be in your movie as long as I can rap in it too, or something like that. Like Jamie,
I feel like the trailer will have a rap song in it. That seems to be a new trend.
Oh yeah, you can't have action without a rap song. That way, because kids today they don't understand anything unless you throw in some shitty generic rap song.
You can't even name anybody anymore.
No, because I don't care. I don't follow music right now, and I don't want to know because when I'm forced to listen to something, I'm like, God, this is what people want as entertainment for the years. Even as a kid, I was more inclined to listen to older stuff anyway. Like I just was never really into like new stuff as much when I really was like into like being who was new. Like I did listen to some new stuff as a kid, but I've always been more inclined to the older stuff like Creedence Clearwater and rock and pop music of the 80s. Rap in the 80s was better. Like, early rap, Now everything's just a bunch of sounds and clicks and whistles. Yeah. For about 2.5 minutes, and there you go. It's a hit.
Yeah, well, attention spans and whatnot. But thanks to Fedmon. Thanks for Andre that popped in and joined us live. I don't know if there was anyone else that had shown, but that's who I've seen the most of talking in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in live. You catch us on the archive, and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when we go live, especially for the Beyond Retro arcades, because those are like weird times of night. Sometimes it's 4 a.m. Sometimes it's 10 o'clock. You never know when I'm going to do it. So make sure you ring the bell so you're notified when the channel goes live. Check out all the links down below. Download us on Podbean and iTunes. But I want to encourage you guys, give us the subscribes on the YouTubes, because we're
not asking for much here, people.
We're 5 away from 100. Buy Joe's t-shirts, hit him up for a custom, and check out Fans of Power, the He-Man and the Master Universe podcast every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, hosted by Tyler Baker, Joe Amato, and myself. And I guess I'll go ahead and plug this one too. Doug Turner, the guy that used to produce the Beyond Retro podcast and Fans of Power, myself and him, we're gonna be on the road to WrestleMania, and that it could be a bumpy ride, but we're gonna do a podcast. It is called, Tyler, you haven't heard this yet. It's called the Transitional Champion Podcast.
I like that.
Yeah. Because we were throwing out terms, and Doug, like, he was looking up stuff, seeing what was available. I think one of them was like heat magnets, and I was like, I don't mind that one, but I think with a name like that, people would expect us to just be like really angry. And
well, that would be you.
Yeah.
That should be like your title. Like, and with me as always is the heat magnet himself, Nathan Kennedy.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe, because I think he'll want to be referred to as Dirt. Go by his little moniker name that he's got. But
yeah.
Yes, that's what we're gonna be doing. The Rumbles tonight. I hope it's good. The card looks good, but they fuck it up. And the bad thing is, if someone organically gets over,
we can't have that.
They punish them for it. And I'm like, you're just throwing money down the drain just because they got over and didn't need your help. Yeah. I don't get it. Anyway.
That's why you're not going to catch me watching any current wrestling ever again.
So I'm sure we'll talk about any of the news that pops up. We got All Elite Wrestling that's coming up. That's going to be a game changer, really. Tyler, you don't know anything about that, do you?
No.
All Elite Wrestling is a promotion that is being funded by the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it's the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes are doing it. They're starting to sign some people. They're looking at getting a TV deal. They're actually also looking at the possibilities of like insurance. So it's gonna change.
Oh wow!
It's gonna if they get the TV deal and everything, here's an option for other wrestlers to go if they don't feel like they're being utilized here.
And insurance, for God's sake, man.
Yeah.
Jeez, I can't believe WWE's still getting away with that.
Yeah, they're gonna work on it. It's no guarantee, but from what I read, that's something that they want to try to do. So it's gonna be interesting for sure, and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I need to get the link again for that podcast that we're gonna do. That way I can put it in the description, so you guys out there listening can also subscribe to that. So I'm just thinking now, it's like, man, there's so many shows going on. So many shows. All right. With that said, next week, Spawn, I look forward to that. That's gonna
Me too.
That's gonna be fun. Because I remember the art style for sure. That was one thing that always popped, and I remembered, but because I would always see the VHS.
Me too.
Sure, yeah, the VHS tapes. They had them. And I never rented them, but I saw them. I'm like, all right, that looks cool. But then I watched the movie, and I was like, oh no, I don't want anything to do with that. Anyway, until then, thank you guys for joining us live. Thanks for checking this out. Leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on Rambo. If you think it's silly and you want to have a debate with Tyler in the comments, bring it on. Let's have at it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have, somebody's presence.
Yeah.
Whether you hate it or not.
Like the video, share your friends, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Until then, we'll see you in the future. Talk about the past. Take care, everybody.